Hello everyone, Not Dead Yet here, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of the psychological horror shoujo anime that my life has apparently become. So, in the time that has passed since I uploaded my last video on the whole drama regarding BlackThor and SamDoesFitness, SamDoesFitness actually reached out to me, and we've been having a conversation in the DMs. I'll take you through it, and I will give you a quick recap of what happened leading up to that point. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So after I posted that video, BlackThor left this horrendous comment in the comment section of that video. I considered actually making a video on his comment alone, but I decided against it because I figured it just wasn't worth my time. I had said my piece, I had kind of put everything out for people to see, and I figured if people want to look at that comment and agree with him, that's on them. And so I walked away for about 5 days. Fast forward 5 days later, I'm out shopping for bread because, you know, if you're in this community, you know why I eat a lot of bread. And I look down at my phone, and this is what I see. And that shocked me quite a bit, actually. I was like, oh, NANI? And so, I noticed that she was also typing after the phone call was done. I let it be because I was busy and I didn't really want to look at it until I had time to respond. So when I got home, I looked at my messages, expecting to kind of get chewed out. I was like, oh, she finally saw my video. This is where I get called a piece of shit again. And to my surprise, these were the messages that waited me. Hi Eli, I just wanted to take the time to come on here and apologize to you for what has happened. After opening up my eyes to a variety of perspectives, I understand why you were upset with the accusations. I was very defensive when the whole thing happened, and I can understand why harassment was not an appropriate term to use in regards to the situation, because those allegations can be taken very seriously. I would also like to apologize for being defensive about missing the podcast and how I took my anger out on you. The truth is, I was very anxious, and I wholeheartedly am very defensive when people critique how I use my time, because I feel like I'm always being pushed to the edge. I overcommit myself to others, and it leads me to neglect my own space. This, however, was not an excuse to flake out on you without notice. I'm not saying I was right, but I have a tendency of ignoring/neglecting things when I'm overwhelmed, which is why I failed to inform you that I wouldn't make it to the podcast that day. I have great respect for others' time as well, and I'm sorry that it did not come off that way. Lastly, I am sorry if I hurt you in any way. I admit that my response to your videos was not conducted in the most mature manner, and I apologize if it upset you or anything like that. Thank you for your time. I simply replied, that was very mature of you. Thank you. Apology accepted. And then I asked her if she would be okay with me making this video. Would you be okay with me making another video on the topic, just to let people know that you and I have put this behind us? I also want to say that you've earned back my respect. It takes a lot of courage and strength to humble yourself and admit when you're wrong. Not a lot of people are willing to do that. You were, and I respect that. She replied, of course. Anything you need is good. I'm willing to admit to any faults, and you can use my messages to show that. I never want my incapability to control my emotions to hinder my ability to build relationships with others. Thank you for accepting my apology and for treating me so kindly after everything. Much respect to you. And I said, listen, I've said and done things I regret. Boy, have I ever. We can't take back the past, but we can change the future. My whole channel and ideology revolves around rising above past mistakes and the goal of becoming something greater. You've shown a willingness to do that, and so many people wouldn't. You didn't know how I'd react. I may have been super pissed. Most people would have considered the bridge burned and moved on, but you went back to see if maybe a part of the bridge was still intact. And then I said, by the way, if you ever want to do that collab we talked about, where we talk about the differences in our two sports, I'd be happy to. I was pretty disappointed when that fell through because I think it would be a super interesting video. She later replied, thank you for your kind words. Honestly, I'm still in a healing process myself. I've lost a lot of people in the last couple of years of my life, so I admit my defensiveness is out of control and overly emotional sometimes. I'm still learning how to communicate effectively with others and build healthy relationships. Usually when a situation goes wrong, I'll just burn the bridge and isolate myself, which obviously is no good for anybody. And yes, I would still love to work with you. I'm taking a bit of a break from YouTube right now to focus on school, but I will be a lot more free in the upcoming months. I definitely appreciate staying in contact and talking about things though. Also, this is more of a personal apology because it's been something on my mind a lot, but I'm sorry that I used harassment as a defense to you messaging me. The thing that stuck in my head was when you said you wanted to talk because you were lonely one time, and I could never let that go. I know we don't know each other super closely, but hearing that made me feel for you. And I just want you to know you were never annoying me. I only use it as a defense mechanism, but I love building a friendship with you, and hearing from you and our mutuals was wonderful for me. I replied, hey, so I just wanted to say that if you ever want to video call and talk with me, don't hesitate to ask. I know you're kind of anxious, and if you don't want to, that's fine, but I want to help you, and I believe that would be the best way for me to do so. Believe it or not, I've been around the block a few times. I may be young, I guess we both are, but I've lived through a lot. I've seen my fair share of loss. I know what it's like to go through hell and back, and I know what it's like to do that alone, and that's something I would never wish upon anyone, let alone someone I care about. I can't say for certain I understand you because I don't know the details of what you're going through, but I may understand more than you'd think. I may have some advice to help you get through it, and even if I don't, what I do have is a pair of ears and a willingness to listen. There's more I want to say, but it would probably be better face to face. In the meantime, know that I have more respect for you than you could possibly imagine, and that there's no hard feelings at all about what happened. I want you to know that I recognize the strength and courage it takes to do what you've done here. You're a great girl. And that is where the story ends. At least for now. I'm sure there's going to be more as Sam and I talk more, as we, FaceTime or video chat if that ever happens, and as we do the collabs. But in terms of the whole harassment arc of this anime, it seems like we're starting to come to a close. And the reason why I wanted to make this video was a couple-fold. One, boom, I didn't harass Sam. There you go, right there. She apologized for using harassment. I didn't do it. The debate or the question is settled. It didn't happen. Two, I wanted to show you guys that Sam and I are friends again, which is great. I followed her back on Instagram. She's followed me. I'm unblocked. And things seem to be going well. And thirdly, and most importantly, I wanted to show you guys the strength, courage, and bravery of SamDoesFitness. I don't think... No. I have never... Nobody has ever earned so much respect from me so quickly ever in my life. She went from absolutely no respect at all, a zero respect, to someone I admire. Yes, Sam, I know you're watching this. I'm going to send you this video. What you did is incredibly admirable. I have more respect for you than you could possibly imagine. It's beyond respect. It's admiration. And the reason why is because I know what it's like to do what you're doing. And I know just how difficult it is. To be able to humble yourself and go to somebody you've hurt and ask for forgiveness is not an easy thing to do. Especially if things kind of escalated the way they escalated in this situation. And here's the thing. Not only did Sam not take the easy way out, because she should have just been like, oh, yep, it's over. I'm just going to keep him blocked and forget this ever happened. She could have done that. But she didn't. She took the hard way out to try to apologize, but she didn't just take the hard way out. She took the hardest way out, because I want you guys to note, she tried to call me first. Before she texted me, she tried to call me. She only resorted to texting me when I didn't pick up the phone. She tried to originally apologize to my face. She tried to face me head on and say, I am sorry. Do you guys have any idea the amount of courage that takes? The amount of strength and bravery that takes? Because while, yes, apologizing takes a lot of strength and courage, texting is the easy way to do it. She doesn't have to look me in the eyes. She doesn't have to see me. She could just write out her message, send it, and then forget about it. But no, she didn't do that. She said, I am going to face him, and she only resorted to texting me when I didn't pick up, and I'm making some assumptions here. It's probably because maybe she thought that I didn't pick up on purpose. I don't know, that's an assumption. I didn't, I was just out of the house when you happened to call. But the strength that takes, especially when she must have been more anxious than ever. And you want to know why I know she was more anxious than ever? Because I've been her. I've been in that position. I've been in a situation where I wasn't in the best place mentally, and I hurt people. And I realized the hard way that even if you're suffering from certain mental issues or certain mental problems, or you're not in the best headspace, that's not an excuse for treating people poorly. It seems Sam realized that too. And having to come forward and say, I hurt you, I'm sorry, is such a difficult thing to do. For me. And I think I've proven to you guys that I am not one who is afraid of confrontation. So I could just imagine how someone like Sam, who admittedly suffers from things like anxiety, must have felt making that phone call. And yet she did it anyway. You guys want an example of what true strength, courage, and bravery is? Look to Sam Does Fitness. Because honestly speaking, I had written her off. I have met a lot of people who were very similar in personality to her, and I have met a lot of people who have a situation like this is not foreign to me, especially when people don't like, certain ideologies that I espouse. I've had people attempt to attack my reputation before, and I figured that Sam was originally like those people. I could not have been more wrong. And I am ecstatic. I am very happy that Sam proved me wrong this badly. Sam made me eat my words and made me look like an absolute idiot. And Sam, I thank you for it. Thank you for reminding me why I'm the smoothest of smooth brains. When push comes to shove, your true character shines through. No matter what ideologies you espouse, actions speak louder than words. And Sam has shown through her actions that she is one of the most courageous, brave, and strong people I have ever met. Period. I was originally going to say ever met on YouTube, but that would be the understatement of the century. She is one of the strongest people I've ever met in my life, because I have been in a lot of situations where people have wronged me, or I've watched people wrong others, and all they do is, I'm just going to wash my hands of that situation and forget it happened. But Sam didn't do that. She chose to go back. She didn't have to. She could have ignored it and continued to prosper. I'm a nobody channel. And at the end of the day, this situation was over. And yet she chose to come back. So, what I want you guys to do, I'll have her channel linked in the description. Go to her latest video and send her some love. Because that was the video that I kind of lambasted her for and called her a hypocrite. She talked about bullying, and I said your actions do not line up with your words. She proved that her actions do line up with her words. So go to that video and send her as much love as you possibly can, because she deserves it. And maybe let her know I sent you. But before I close out this video, because I'm kind of just repeating myself at this point, there is one other matter of business that needs to be taken care of. Sam, welcome to the fun side of the board, I guess. You no longer have an X on your picture. And, to close off this video, because I know you're going through a tough time, I would like to dedicate this sign-off directly to you, Sam, because no matter what you're going through, I want you to remember that I'm not dead yet, and if you aren't either, there is always a tomorrow waiting for you.